the restaurant that turns burgers into millions. So you want to own a McDonald's. Imagine walking into a restaurant that serves hundreds, sometimes thousands, of customers every day. The kitchen is running almost continuously. Orders appear on screens. Fryers are working. Burgers are being assembled. Delivery drivers are arriving. Families are sitting in the dining room. And cars are moving through the drive-thru. From the outside, it looks like a simple restaurant. But behind that Big Mac and carton of fries is something much more complicated. A McDonald's franchise isn't simply a place where you sell burgers. It's a business built around real estate, labor, food costs, technology, marketing, supply chains, royalties, rent, and enormous daily sales volume. And the most interesting part is that you don't own the McDonald's brand. You operate under it. That means the company provides a powerful business system. But the franchisee still has to invest capital, manage employees, control costs, maintain the restaurant, and generate enough cash to make the entire operation worthwhile. So the real question isn't how much money a McDonald's restaurant makes. It's how much money remains after everyone takes their share. What exactly are you buying? A McDonald's franchise is different from opening your own burger restaurant. If you start an independent restaurant, you can choose the menu, branding, suppliers, design, pricing strategy, and operating system. With McDonald's, much of that is already established. The brand is already recognized. The menu already exists. The operating procedures already exist. The technology already exists. And the supply chain is already developed. But that convenience comes with a price. You have to operate within the McDonald's system. You also have to meet its financial and operational requirements. In the United States, McDonald's currently says prospective franchisees typically need at least $750,000 in net, non-borrowed, unencumbered personal funds for consideration, with additional working capital recommended per restaurant. That amount doesn't guarantee that you'll receive a restaurant. And there's another important detail. This isn't designed as a passive investment. McDonald's expects franchisees to be involved in operating and managing the business. Candidates also go through a substantial training process, currently described by McDonald's as approximately 6 to 12 months. You're not simply buying a logo. You're buying access to a system and accepting the responsibility of operating that system correctly. The first $1 million. Now, let's look at the money. The exact cost of a McDonald's restaurant varies significantly depending on location. Whether you're buying an existing restaurant or developing a new one, the restaurant size, and the condition of the property and equipment. McDonald's itself notes that establishing a brand new restaurant requires a greater investment than purchasing and operating an existing restaurant. For perspective, McDonald's historical U.S. franchise materials have shown substantial costs for equipment, seating, decor, inventory, opening expenses, and working capital, while current franchise opportunities can vary significantly by location and restaurant. So imagine you're purchasing an existing restaurant for roughly $2 million. You don't necessarily have to bring all $2 million in cash. McDonald's financing rules allow qualifying buyers to finance part of the purchase, subject to its requirements. The important point is that a large amount of your own capital still has to be committed, and that creates the first economic question. How much cash are you putting into the restaurant? And what return are you getting on that cash? The franchise fee is only the beginning. One of the easiest mistakes is looking at the franchise fee and thinking that's the cost of owning a McDonald's. It isn't. The initial franchise fee is only one part of the economics. There is also the restaurant purchase price, equipment, inventory, working capital, technology, repairs, renovations, insurance, payroll, utilities, and ongoing payments to McDonald's. In the US, McDonald's says franchisees typically need significant unborrowed funds and recommends at least $100,000 in working capital per restaurant, in addition to other financial requirements. That working capital matters because restaurants don't receive every dollar of revenue as pure profit. Money is constantly moving in and out. Food arrives, Employees need to be paid. Equipment breaks. Utility bills arrive. Suppliers need payment. And unexpected expenses can appear at exactly the wrong time. The franchise fee gets you into the system. It doesn't pay your employees, your electricity bill, your food suppliers, or your rent. The revenue machine. Now imagine your restaurant generates $3 million in annual sales. That means approximately $250,000 in monthly sales and roughly $8,200 in sales every day. That's a lot of food, but McDonald's has enormous sales volume because the restaurant isn't selling one expensive product. It's selling thousands of relatively inexpensive transactions. A customer buys a burger, another buys breakfast, another orders a family meal, someone else buys fries and a drink. The drive-thru handles another customer, delivery adds another order. The economics depend on repeating these transactions thousands of times. This creates a powerful advantage. A small amount of profit per transaction can become significant when multiplied across a huge number of transactions. McDonald's doesn't need every customer to spend hundreds of dollars. It needs thousands of customers to spend a few dollars every day. And that is where scale becomes important. The food cost problem. Now the restaurant has revenue, but it needs food. Beef, chicken, potatoes, buns, cheese, sauces, vegetables, coffee, soft drinks, packaging, and dozens of other ingredients. Food costs are one of the largest variable expenses in the restaurant. Imagine our $3 million restaurant spends approximately 30% of sales on food and packaging. That's about $900,000 per year. The exact percentage can vary significantly by restaurant and product mix, but the principle remains the same. If food costs rise, margins shrink. Imagine beef prices increase, or potatoes become more expensive, or packaging costs rise. The franchisee can't always increase menu prices enough to immediately recover every increase. Consumers are price sensitive, and competitors are constantly watching. A restaurant doesn't make money from the price printed on the menu. It makes money from the difference between what the customer pays and what it costs to serve that customer, the labor machine. Then comes the biggest operational challenge: people. A McDonald's restaurant can require managers, cooks, cashiers, maintenance workers, shift leaders, and other employees. And unlike food inventory, labor isn't something you can simply eliminate without affecting the business. Imagine labor and employee-related costs consume approximately 25% of annual sales. On $3 million in revenue, that's another $750,000. Now the economics are becoming clearer. $3 million in sales, minus $900,000 in food and packaging, minus $750,000 in labor. This is where the McDonald's franchise model becomes especially interesting. The royalty and advertising problem. McDonald's makes money from its franchise system too. In the US, McDonald's has stated that a standard ongoing service or royalty fee is based on a percentage of restaurant sales. Current US terms can vary by circumstance, with a 5% royalty applying in certain new or transferred scenarios. McDonald's also requires advertising contributions. So imagine, purely for illustration, that a restaurant pays approximately 5% of sales in royalty. On $3 million in annual sales, that's $150,000. Then imagine another 4% goes toward advertising and promotion. That's another $120,000. Suddenly, $270,000 of annual sales has been allocated to these two categories. And this is one of the key differences between an independent restaurant and a franchise. You're paying for access to the brand, system, marketing, technology, and operating infrastructure. The franchise system takes a percentage of sales whether your profit margin is great or terrible. That's why revenue alone doesn't tell you whether a franchise is a good investment. The rent problem. Now we reach one of the most important parts of the McDonald's economic model: real estate. A restaurant needs land, a building, parking, drive-through infrastructure, signage, access, and a location where customers can easily reach it. McDonald's may own, lease, or control real estate associated with restaurants depending on the arrangement. For franchisees, rent can be structured through base rent and slash or percentage-based components, depending on the agreement and market. McDonald's UK, for example, currently reports that rent for many franchised restaurants is structured as a combination involving rent and a percentage of sales, illustrating how occupancy economics can be tied to restaurant performance. And this creates an interesting relationship. A restaurant can have excellent sales, but still struggle if occupancy costs are too high. Imagine a restaurant generates $3 million in sales. If rent and occupancy-related costs consume hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, that money disappears before the franchisee calculates their final return. The location can make the restaurant, but the cost of that location can also break the economics. The drive-thru advantage. One reason McDonald's restaurants can generate enormous sales volume is the drive-thru. The restaurant doesn't need every customer to park, enter, order, eat, and leave. Customers can order from their cars. That increases convenience. And convenience increases transaction frequency. A well-designed drive-thru can process a large number of orders during peak periods: breakfast rush, lunch, dinner, late night. Every additional transaction spreads fixed costs across more sales. The building is already there. The kitchen is already there. The equipment is already there. So once the restaurant reaches a certain level of volume, additional sales can become economically valuable, assuming the variable costs remain controlled. The 50% sales shock. Now imagine something goes wrong. Sales fall by 50%. Instead of $3 million, the restaurant generates only $1.5 million. Food costs decline because fewer meals are being sold. Some labor can potentially be adjusted, but rent doesn't automatically fall by 50%. Equipment payments don't necessarily disappear. Insurance remains. Technology costs remain. And the franchise-related fees tied to sales may decline, but fixed operating costs remain. This is the restaurant version of the utilization problem we saw in the factory businesses. When sales fall, a restaurant doesn't become half as expensive to operate. The fixed costs stay behind while fewer customers are paying the bills. That's why location, traffic, customer loyalty, and operational efficiency are so important. A restaurant with consistent high traffic has a completely different economic profile from a restaurant that struggles to fill its seats. The renovation trap. Restaurants don't stay new forever. Floors wear out. Furniture becomes outdated. Kitchen equipment ages. Signs fade. Drive-thru systems need upgrades. Dining rooms need remodeling. And customers expect modern restaurants to look modern. This creates another major expense. A franchisee may have a profitable restaurant today, but still need to invest heavily tomorrow. That's because maintaining the value of the business requires ongoing capital expenditure. The money you make today isn't necessarily all yours to spend. Some of it has to go back into the restaurant to keep the business competitive tomorrow. This is especially important when calculating long-term return. A restaurant that generates strong cash flow but requires constant reinvestment may be less attractive than its headline profits suggest. The brand advantage. Now, we reach the reason someone might accept all these costs: the brand. Starting an independent burger restaurant means creating demand from zero. You have to convince people to try your food. You have to build trust. You have to develop recognition. You have to create marketing. You have to build a supply chain. McDonald's already has enormous brand recognition. Customers know what to expect. They recognize the menu. They recognize the restaurant. And in many locations, they already have a habit of visiting. That creates something incredibly valuable: predictable demand. The franchisee is paying fees, rent, and operating costs. But in return, they're not starting a restaurant brand from zero. That difference can be worth millions over the life of a successful location. The owner's real job. This is where many people misunderstand franchise ownership. They imagine the owner sitting in an office while employees run the restaurant. But McDonald's explicitly describes franchise ownership as a hands-on business opportunity involving daily operations, financial performance, team leadership, and reinvestment. The owner has to monitor labor, watch food costs, manage managers, review sales, control waste, maintain equipment, respond to customer problems, analyze financial performance, and constantly improve the restaurant. The franchise may have a famous brand, but the brand doesn't run the restaurant for you. You're buying a system. You're not buying a passive income machine. The ownership traps. The first trap is looking only at annual sales. The second is underestimating labor costs. The third is ignoring rent and occupancy expenses. The fourth is forgetting royalties and advertising contributions. The fifth is assuming the franchise is passive. The sixth is underestimating maintenance and renovation costs. The seventh is using too much debt. The eighth is buying a restaurant simply because the brand is famous. And the final trap is assuming every McDonald's location is equally profitable. They aren't. A restaurant next to a busy highway can have completely different economics from one in a low-traffic area. A location with strong delivery demand can perform differently from one dependent on dine-in traffic, and a restaurant with an excellent manager can perform very differently from one with constant employee turnover. The franchise verdict. So what separates a profitable McDonald's franchise from an expensive restaurant with a famous sign outside? Location, sales volume, labor control, occupancy costs, operational discipline, and capital management. A smart franchisee doesn't start by asking, how much money can McDonald's make? They ask, how much money can this specific restaurant make after every major cost? How much are annual sales? How much is food? How much is labor? How much is rent? How much goes to royalties? How much goes to advertising? How much debt is involved? How much capital will future renovations require? And how much cash remains for the owner? Those are the numbers that actually matter, the real economics. From the outside, McDonald's looks like a burger business. But economically, it's much more than that. It's a combination of brand power, real estate, food service, technology, supply chain management, labor management, and franchising. The franchisee provides capital. They operate the restaurant. They hire and manage the team. They control day-to-day performance, and they take the operational risk. McDonald's provides the brand, system, training, standards, technology, and broader franchise infrastructure. And both sides make money when the restaurant performs well. But the franchisee doesn't keep every dollar generated by the restaurant. Food suppliers take their share. Employees take their share. Landlords take their share. McDonald's takes royalties and other fees. Marketing takes its share. Utilities take their share. Taxes take their share. Maintenance takes its share. And lenders take their share if debt is involved. What's left is the real economic reward for the owner. A McDonald's franchise doesn't make money simply because millions of people love McDonald's. It makes money when a specific restaurant can turn that customer demand into enough cash flow to cover all of its costs and still provide an attractive return on the owner's capital. That's the real game. High sales help. A strong location helps. Efficient labor helps. Good management helps. And the brand helps. But none of them guarantees profit. So, is owning a McDonald's franchise a license to print money? Not exactly. It's a highly structured business opportunity with a powerful brand behind it, but also significant capital requirements, operating obligations, ongoing fees, and financial risks. The franchisee gets something extremely valuable, a business model that customers already understand. But they also accept something equally important: the responsibility to make that model work at their specific location. The most dangerous McDonald's franchise isn't the one with expensive equipment. It's the one with a famous golden sign, millions in annual sales, and not enough cash left after everyone else gets paid. That is the real economics of owning a McDonald's franchise.